Welcome to Annapolis Mosaics. Our program spotlights people in our community who are involved in activities designed to promote good human relations. I am Michael Keller, the chair of the Annapolis Human Relations Commission and your host. The commission is a city board that seeks to promote equal opportunity and to eliminate discrimination. My guests today are Shanita Modlin, who is a volunteer manager for Habitat for Humanity of the Chesapeake, and Wanda Mitchell, who is the vice chair of the Annapolis Human Relations Commission. And both Shanita and Wanda are Habitat homeowners.
That's right.
Welcome to you both to Annapolis Mosaics.
Thank you for having us. Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, let's start by telling our viewers about the history of Habitat for Humanity. How, when, and why did it get started?
Habitat for Humanity began in 1976 by Linda and Millard Fuller, who was looking to fulfill and have more fulfillment in their lives, to help others to obtain that vision and dream of home ownership. Our particular affiliate began in 1982. So we've been around a long time making those dreams come true.
Okay, all right. Habitat's vision is a world in which everyone has a decent place to live. How does your organization operationalize that locally?
I would say partnerships.
Okay.
We screen partnerships. We welcome partnerships with our donors, our volunteers, our partner families, which Wanda and I both were at one time. We were partner families, and now we're homeowners.
Yes, that's correct.
So I would definitely say partnerships. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree with that. I agree. Yes.
Okay. How does the program actually work? Could you give us a description for someone, for example? I'm sure we've got viewers out there who have heard of Habitat for Humanity, but they really don't understand what the program, how the program actually works. Could you sort of give us a description about that?
Sure. One thing I think Wanda and I both can attest to, that we do not give away houses.
No, they do not.
No, our houses were not given to us at all.
That's correct.
Habitat for Humanity strives to, as I said, create that partnership. And one of our strongest partnerships would be with our partner families. There has to be a need by the partner family in terms of high rent, not enough adequate bedrooms for children, things of that nature. So there has to be a need there. And once that need is established, then that partner family says, yes, Habitat, I will partner with you. And there are three components to that partnership. The first would be sweat equity. Okay. And sweat equity is volunteer work at its finest. Our partner families, they volunteer on our construction sites, they volunteer at our restores, which hopefully we will talk about that a little later on. And they also partner with or volunteer with any nonprofit of their choice. I know for myself, I did work at a nursing home. Right. Did you do any?
Yes, I to give a little visual picture of how things worked for me stepping into the program. I had a friend who was actually in the program and working her hours, and I watched her do that from beginning to end. And so the day of her dedication, it was like I had saw the whole process. And so when I applied and did all the necessary criteria for that, at the particular time, I wasn't able to do the sweat equity hours on a construction site, so I was able to partner with churches. And so that is, there's different ways. What I'm trying to show is there's different ways of doing your sweat equity hours. We love having you on the construction site. That is one of the most important parts of it all. But in my case, I partnered with churches and did and spoke at churches, giving information about Habitat and just letting folks know. So that was my way of working. towards my hours.
So we have the sweat equity piece, and then the next piece is partnering with the home buyer education classes that we undergo, and that's called our Home Buyer Academy, in which for 3 months we have financial literacy training. Whereas in my case, I feel that it's support at the front end and support at the back end, because not only do we learn about what home ownership is, different warranties, how to keep our homes in good standing condition, but we also learn about community partnerships. We learn about community associations, getting involved, having a voice in your particular community. So we create a whole spectrum of support with our home buyers education classes. And then thirdly, we have to have the ability to pay for our 0% interest mortgage that we have via disability funds or working a 9 to 5. So there has to be an ability to pay for that mortgage. So we are actually working hard to obtain the homes that we acquire through Habitat.
And one thing that was included in the education part of it, the homeowners coming in have an opportunity to work with financial advisors, because a lot of times people tend to shy away from this process because of maybe their financial situation at the time. But it's a beautiful thing how Habitat has designed a program for the incoming homeowners to set with financial advisors to work through their budgets and through their credit reports and things like that to get you ready to sit at the table. So that's really a good thing.
Your organization serves Anne Arundel County, and it's my understanding that it reflects a merger which took place between Arundel Habitat for Humanity and Habitat for Humanity of the Chesapeake. So you had those two affiliates essentially merging. Could you let our viewers know some of your current projects that you're engaged in Anne Arundel County and especially within the city of Annapolis? What's going on right now in terms of projects?
Well, one thing we do wish to send a message that we are well invested here in Annapolis. We love Anne Arundel County. We love our volunteers, our donors, and the upcoming projects. We are all excited at Habitat for the upcoming projects and the past projects. Wanda is a recipient or a part of the past project, but that doesn't mean that more, aren't coming forth, and we're excited about that. We do have 18 homes that we have on Clay Street. We have 2 new projects that are coming up on Clay Street as well. We have 1 home that we are currently building in West County. And also we have a family type of partnership in Edgewater. And we actually just had a huge veterans build in Edgewater that was excellent. We had partners from NIOC, we had the Air Force, and we had military partners out, all coming together along with the homeowner to build on Veterans Day and thanking our military partners for partnering with us and for volunteering with us, and it was excellent. We had, it was beautiful. Mission Barbecue came out and provided lunch for us, so we just had a plethora of partnerships on that day. We had a wonderful day.
Awesome.
Yes.
Could you give our viewers a sense of what kind of numbers are involved in terms of the lives of people that you touch? How many over the number of years that you've existed as an organization would you estimate that you've actually built homes for? How many people have been affected in this way and touched in this way?
Honestly, I don't think there's a number that you can put on the lives that we've affected. Of course, we have numbers well in the hundreds of homes that we've built.
Hundreds of homes.
But
hundreds.
About 360.
360 homes. Impressive.
About 3, right. But I don't think we can number how many lives that we've affected. Because they're branches. I feel like, Habitat is a tree, and there are branches that extend and leaves that extend. You never know where those leaves will fall. You can never, put a set number on how many lives that we've affected.
Who are those branches and leaves?
I would say I'm a branch or I'm a leaf.
I'm a leaf.
Okay.
I'm a leaf. That is sort of what I explained at first. Just watching someone is how I got here today. And the impact it had on my life, especially during the time, as she mentioned earlier, this program does fulfill the needs of a person that's disabled. At that particular time, I was waiting for a heart. And so homeowning was something that I just really never even suspected would be offered to me or in my reach. But it happened. And it was just from the impact of watching someone else go through the process. So
I kind of think it's like a sorority of a fraternity too. It's like, you know, when I saw Wanda today, and I was like, oh, Habitat homeowner, oh my goodness, hey, you know, we're just, you know, if you see them in the grocery store or just walking down the street, it's like we're a part of something that we will forever be connected, you know, through and with. And to me, that's about building relationships. You know, I'll always have a connection with each and every homeowner, whether I, you know, work with them on a construction site or whether I was at their dedication. There's a certain sisterhood and brotherhood that's there. That's, you know, that's profound.
And speaking of the impact on others, I know as a Clay Street homeowner, you know, the first few months that we were there, and just to see the impact that it had on the surrounding neighbors and people just passing by and just their welcoming us in and just speaking words of just being in awe at how this happened, watching it happen, being able to see the homeowners themselves working on their homes, and you know, all of a sudden now we're in them. That doesn't happen often. You know, often you go out and you buy a home and you move in it. But for the neighbors to actually watch these folks working on their own homes was comments I get all the time, and still 2 years later, people love it. It's wonderful.
Has demand for the services of Habitat increased since the onset of the Great Recession in 2007? Have you seen an increase in the number of clients that are seeking homes?
Drastically.
I would say.
Yes. I do know that at a certain point, we have actually at present so many people that have applied that, you know, we have to at certain points hold off and you know, give ourselves time to kind of regroup before we accept more applications. So there's a wide demand for folks wanting to become involved in the Habitat homeowning. Yes.
We're going to take a break now, but when we return, I will be speaking with Shanita and Wanda about the specific opportunities for volunteer work at Habitat for Humanity, as well as some other aspects of the program and a little bit about their personal experiences.
It's like someone's like right there. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Oh, really? Well, she's looking forward to seeing you too. He's the director of construction. I'm project manager. Very well. Thank you. Glad to see if I get my own hometown. There you go. That's right. Good morning. I got a friend. How are you? Hi. Hello. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? How'd it go yesterday? Did you get wet? A lot of rain, yes. It was very wet. Those dry clothes we got left.
We're speaking today with Shanita Modlin and with Wanda Mitchell. Shanita is the volunteer manager for Habitat for Humanity of the Chesapeake. Wanda is the vice chair of the Annapolis Human Relations Commission, and both are Habitat home owners. Habitat makes pretty extensive use of volunteers. Could you tell us in what capacities people who might be interested in serving as a volunteer for Habitat can get involved?
Sure. One thing that we pride ourselves on is that I think our affiliate is built on volunteers. We have volunteers on our construction sites. Fridays and Saturdays. We have volunteers that actually come through a sponsorship type of construction-based volunteer,
Okay.
and that occurs Wednesday through Saturday, where they actually pay for a day and they sponsor Habitat in that way. So they come out and they enjoy the experience of hammering and nailing, and they have lunch with us, and it's just a day catered to them, and that's our team build avenue to take in terms of sponsorship. We also have volunteers that come to our Habitat Restore, and we do have a Habitat Restore right in Pasadena. We have 3 other locations also, and our Habitat Restores are home improvement discount centers, and we sell new to gently used home items and home goods that is open to the general public. So you can shop, you can donate, and you can volunteer there as well. Lastly, we have departmental volunteers through interns and other our volunteer base that just wants to come into the office and file a paper, type a letter. We welcome volunteers of all ages. We do say that we have a limit on our construction site and our restore of 16 years of age. However, no one is too old to volunteer. We don't want that to be, you can be any age you want. Come on out and volunteer. We have our wood shop, who is near and dear to our hearts at Habitat, and they are a group of retirees. Our oldest member is well in his 80s, and he comes out every Thursday and every Tuesday actually and volunteers with us in our office, and they do wood-based projects for our homes. So you're never too young in a sense of 16 years of age and never too old to volunteer with us.
Yeah, because I understand you've got youth partners,
Yes.
and tell us about the youth partners.
Yes, our youth
Especially interested in hearing about them.
Yes, we are excited. Our youth partnerships are with our Build-A-Block program. And Build-A-Block is a coalition of high schools, both public and private schools that come together and they build with us on our construction sites. For those that are younger than 16, they actually still help us in fundraising for our affiliate as well. So that's why I say there's always a project for us to complete and do at Habitat. And also, they are heavily involved with our Habitat clubs. They generate our clubs on the campuses. They start them. They create offices within their Habitat clubs, and they also fundraise for us as well. Quarterly, we do offer youth service Saturdays for our younger children to come in and do smaller building projects and to learn about affordable housing, to learn about that great need in and around Maryland.
And you also have something called Faith Partners too.
Oh, of course.
Tell us about Faith Partners.
That my home was actually sponsored by the Interfaith Group,
Okay.
and it was just an amazing experience to watch all the faiths come together and work and build. And so, in the meantime, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of my sweat equity hours were done in the churches. And so it was just an amazing experience for me. Unbelievable how awesome the environment was to see everyone just come together and at the end of the day be able to stand and see what they have accomplished. Not just for myself, I speak for all the homeowners and our children as well. You know, this is not just a blessing for the homeowners, but it becomes a blessing for our kids coming up behind us. So it was a beautiful thing, Interfaith.
And you've also got a volunteer program called Red Hats.
Yes.
Tell us about Red Hats.
Yes. Well, Red Hats are like super volunteers. They actually go through training classes and at the end of their training classes, they are equipped and trained to lead volunteers on our construction sites. We rely heavily on Red Hats, and it's a wonderful program. They also have the ability to come out on site Wednesday through Saturday to volunteer as well, whether we have volunteer groups out or not. So they're a big help, and we truly appreciate the work that they do as well.
Amen. Yes.
You know, and very often we stereotype in society. You think about building, the first thing you think of is men. That men get out there and hammer the nails. But in fact, you do have a special program called Women Builders.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's hear about that. So ladies get involved.
Yes. And we do welcome our female audience to get involved and to volunteer with us. One thing I am very proud to say that once coming into the program, I now can hang a cabinet, you know. I can, lay a floor, and those are the things that our Women Build program kind of showcases. Right. And it's hands-on training. Yes. It's getting involved. It's almost like a club almost. And that's also a sponsorship program as well, where there is a membership fee, and that membership fee supports more building within our affiliate. And it's women coming together and building, and on that common ground. Yes. Woman A and Woman B coming together on that and having that common ground for that day, and essentially creating another sorority.
Exactly.
And it's great to see women coming together. And hammering and nailing and just,
absolutely.
That camaraderie.
Yes. And, as a homeowner, you would be surprised of the people that you become involved with coming in to help you on these bills. I actually had the opportunity to build with Governor O'Malley and Mayor Josh Cohen. They all came and gave a hand on Saturdays to help us out. And I guess the big event for us as well, they were all big, but one of the big events was when President Jimmy Carter and First Lady Rosalynn came to visit with us. We had a lovely time with them. They came down and greeted all of us and took a look around the build. President Carter didn't build here in Annapolis that day, but he did make a visit. He did do some building in Baltimore, but it was a rainy day here, and so we moved from there to Baltimore and celebrated with him at a luncheon. So it just goes to show you that, Habitat's doors are open for everyone to come in and volunteer, and you just be surprised the experience you'll receive from that. It's a wonderful, awesome thing.
And how ironic that President Carter moved that building in Baltimore, yes, where actually I live on Jefferson Street.
Awesome.
Okay.
So that's another connection that Wanda and I share. Yes. So the home that I actually live in, I was told because it happened prior to me. Yes. Getting into the program, but I was told that that's where President Carter, he actually sat and walked in my house, and and it's just awesome. So I have the president's house.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, I have the mayor and the governor.
That's right.
How about that? Yes, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
It's a blessing.
Yes.
Well, what you've just talked about demonstrates the breadth of support that Habitat for Humanity has within the leadership echelons of society, but also your ability to attract support from other organizations as well. And it's my understanding that Habitat does work in partnership with other organizations in the community. Oh, yes. Could you talk about that and the ways in which these organizations contribute to your efforts?
Mm-hmm. I think one of the most exciting partnerships that we have now would be in Pigtown, our Pigtown location, in terms of the Baltimore Ravens. The players and the corporate staff came out to build with us, and we also have a huge partnership with Paul's Place, which is a community outreach center in Pigtown, which is in Baltimore, Maryland. So I think that right there is it speaks volumes because we have the media coverage, but then we also have that community community coverage, where we're coming together and the players are coming together, and they are giving back to their community as well. So I think Habitat is providing those opportunities as well. And we're really excited about what the Ravens are doing with us and sponsoring the homes, some of the homes on Pigtown.
And here in Annapolis, we have a great partnership with the City of Annapolis Housing Authority. And actually, the build where I am on Clay Street, we're actually sitting on property that was once a part of public housing. So they have, they play a big role for us here in the City of Annapolis.
If one of our, more of our viewers were to be interested in applying for a Habitat home, how do they go about doing that?
They would contact our Family Services Department.
Okay.
As we stated earlier, there is a great need, and we definitely want that to be said, that there is a great need, and I think that's where our volunteers and our donors come in to provide more doors to be open for those applicants. But they can contact our Family Services Department. Ann Rouse is the Director of Family Services, and she has an awesome staff that is willing to educate and inform applicants of the process.
Okay, but both for those individuals as well as for folks in our community who are watching our show and who are interested in getting involved with Habitat, or perhaps donating their time or their money to the organization, how can they get in touch with you? You have a phone number or website that they could
Yes,
they could go to?
yes,
Share that with
we
us.
welcome everyone, and no donation is too small, from $1 to $1 million. We are appreciative of whatever someone gives from their heart, and that's the main thing, giving from your heart, your time and your monetary funds. But please visit www.habitatchesapeake.org. You can contact me for volunteer opportunities or any opportunity, and I can put you in touch with the right person. That's smadlin@habitatchesapeake.org.
Okay, so again, that website is www.chesapeakehabitat.org.
Let's switch it. www.habitatchesapeake.org.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay. So now we all have it. We have it straight
That's right.
now. Well, both of you were or are Habitat homeowners.
Yes.
Do you have any favorite stories that you would like to share with our viewers about your experience in the process of becoming a Habitat homeowner and going through the process of having a home built for you? I mean, what was it like? What are some of the stories that you have that you could share about it?
I think in bits and pieces, I've shared some of it, but this was just something that was not even in my plan, not nowhere in my dreams. My career ended because of heart failure, and so this happened for me while I was waiting for a heart. I was actually on the National Heart Transplant list when this happened for me. So my story about this is, in life we make plans, and once a person told me a story, and I just want to share this little story. It'll be quick. And I heard this minister tell a story once about a little boy that was having a dream. And so he yelled for his mom to come into the room. And so when his mom came into the room, she comforted him. And as she went to leave the room, the little boy said to her to not close the door and to leave the light on. And so I always tell people that a door in my life that I thought had closed because of a physical disability opened for me anyway, and that was Habitat. So to me, the biggest and the one thing that stands out and will always in my heart is this happened for me in spite of being in a financial position. It happened. And so it's a dream come true. And so I say to others, go for your dreams. It was a dream. I didn't think it would come true, but it did. So that's my story. That's what I will always hold on to.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think the same for me as well. I always share with my volunteer groups that I wear two hats at Habitat. I was a partner family and now a homeowner, and now I work as a volunteer engagement manager at Habitat for Humanity. And to me, to want to work for Habitat spoke volumes, and it speaks volumes because the same people that I worked with my sweat equity and that led me on a construction site are now my coworkers. And what speaks throughout the halls of Habitat, I would say, is authenticity. It's real.
Amen.
It's real for us. It's
It
real
is.
that we love what we do. We love our homeowners. We love our partner families. We love our volunteers. We love our donors. And this is not for applause. We work for the cause.
Amen.
And that to me just speaks volumes.
That's right.
And it will always speak volumes from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Will be that we work for the cause, not for the applause. And that's very, very true.
Thank you for viewing our program today, and please join us again on Annapolis Mosaics. If you would like to have more information about the Annapolis Human Relations Commission, please jot down the information that's on your screen. You can reach us at 410-263-7998 or by email at hrcommission@annapolis.gov. Or check out our page at the City of Annapolis website. Go to www.annapolis.gov, click on City Government, then Boards and Commissions, and scroll down to the Human Relations Commission page. And always remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "We have flown the air like birds and swum the seas like fishes, but have yet to learn the simple act of walking the earth as brothers and sisters."